In this session, we're going to look at representational systems again. So this is Rep Systems Part 2. During this, we're going to see how we can take what we've already learned in the previous broadcast and take it forward to help you create better rapport with people in your future. So let's look at the three main representational, the rep systems. The first one, obviously, is visual, which we talked about last time. Visual, people will use all the words to do with sight or seeing. And I've got a long list of words here, which may not be quite so obvious. So if you see my eyes go down, don't worry about it. You're going to get people saying, I see what you mean. I can picture that. But they'll also use things like blur, brilliant, clear, thoughtful, darken, dazzle, dim, enlighten, envision, flare, focus, foggy, glitter, glow, hazy. There's so many different words to do with the visual side. Shed light on, shine, show, sign, sparkle, photograph, reflect, scan, seen, visualize, vivid, watch. These are all words that you would expect somebody who's more visual to use. So when you hear them talking like that, you can go, oh yeah, visual, that's fine. So when you're selling them, when you're doing a presentation to them, you can use visual words. Then the next one that we came across was the auditory. Now the auditory is people who use their ears. When they talk, their eyes go from side to side down here. They're almost talking to themselves. And we'll talk about that more when we do some work on eyes later on. The words they will use is accent, amplify, attune, chime, clash, click, cloak, cry, deaf, discord, groan, growl, grumble, gurgle. Some wonderful words here. Hush, jingle, listen, loud. And we can go right the way through rhythm, roar, rumble, rustle, symphony, tell, thud, thick, tickle, tone, whisper, whistle, whoosh. And those are all noises. They're all using the noises word. So they are the people who are auditory. Then you've got the kinesthetic. Now the kinesthetic, as we went through last time, are going to be using all the feeling words. And when they talk to you, they tend to look down, looking for the answers. And they will use words like balance, blend, blistering, block, break, bubbly, crisp, crunch, crush, drag, drive, feel, firm, fizzy, floppy, gritty, hike, jump, kick. These are all action, feeling words. Lumpy, move, numb, pressure, rigid, scald, scrape, scratch, seize, slimy, squelchy, sticky, support, sweat, swing. Do you see how all these words have a feeling tendency with them? Tap, tide, touch, warmth, wiggle, wriggle, writhe. And these are all the very, very kinesthetic words. Now we can actually go on to the meta kinesthetic, which is slightly more powerful words. Affectionate, amiable, assured, at home, bored, calm, calm down, crushed, ecstatic, embarrassed, exasperated, fed up, feel again, frigid, frustrated, hysterical, jealous, joyful, lonely, manic, miserable. So these are all words that, again, have that kinesthetic touch to them, that kinesthetic feel to them, but they're the slightly more stronger words that people use. Sentimental, silly, smart, sympathetic, tender, tranquil, triumphant, upset, weary, pressured, proud, worried, sad. These are all feelings. So again, when you listen to people, just listen out for those words and you'll then be able to communicate with them at a better way. Then we can go on to the olfactory, we can go on to the different fragrances, the smells, the tastes, but that's not what I'm about on this one. What I want to do here is actually give you an idea of how to communicate to everybody. If you look at your website, if you look at an email that you're sending out to many people, what predicates, what words are you using to attract what part of the audience? You'll get some people who will just do a visual or a kinesthetic or an auditory email or website, and they are missing out on a huge part of the market. If you just print out all your pages and just go through in a red pen, just underline anything that is auditory, say. Then get a yellow pen and do everything that is visual. And then get a different colour, a blue pen, for example, and do everything kinesthetic. And make sure that you've got the right balance. And if need be, just rewrite sentences to make them work where everything is balanced. Everything blends together. And you'll find that your uptake with people is much, much better. I've done some adverts where I've made huge mistakes in the past when I've gone very, very visual or very, very feeling. And as soon as I do that, the people who come and see me are the people only in those areas. So I started mixing the words in the adverts, and then I get people from all three sections of life. When selling something, it's not necessarily how it looks. It could be how it sounds. It could be what it feels like when you're inside. So everybody has their own different part of their shopping list. And part of their shopping list is to do with their rep system, their preferred rep system. So using this knowledge, what can you do now in your life that's going to help other people? If you're in human resources or something like that, where you get people who are coming to see you because they've got a problem. If they are talking with all their feelings and their eyes are down here and say, yeah, I feel really bad when I walk into the office. And you start saying, yes, I see what you mean. I can picture that. You're missing the mark completely. If you then reply using the feeling words, at the end of this presentation, if you hit the link, you will get a list of words that are visual, list of words that are auditory, and list of words that are kinesthetic. So you can have them there in your meeting room just to, when you notice it and you feel a bit stuck, if it's a bit foreign, going into feelings, or a bit foreign, going into visual, you can then just flip your file open. You can just see lists of words, and you'll see people instantly be transformed. It's amazing to watch. So when I get people who say, Piers, I can't communicate in the office, or I have problems with so-and-so, I said, fine, listen to the words that they use. It's called keeping your options open, keeping your peripheral vision really wide rather than focused on one small thing. We did an exercise in a previous video that showed how to use peripheral vision. And in the next one, I'm going to recap on that, because to me, keeping yourself peripheral is incredibly important. So next week's video is all about peripheral vision and how to notice things, how to soften your focus, how to use peripheral vision to use non-verbal communication. Non-verbal means just looking at people in a slightly different way. It means softening your approach. It could be dropping your shoulders. It could be getting into rapport by matching or mirroring. It could be so many different things which we've covered already on previous videos. So as you will gather, these videos build you up into a sort of picture, into a future using NLP without even thinking about it. So it will feel good on the inside. So when you're with people, you can actually hear what they're saying much easier. In that last sentence, you may have noticed I use all three of the rep systems. I said the word picture. So I can imagine that anyone who's slightly picturing things will say, yeah, okay, I can picture that. I used the word hear, and you can listen. And people go, yeah, okay, I can understand that. And then I just wanted to connect with the kinesthetics, and I'll say, you'll feel comfortable with it. And again, hitting the feelings. So it's so simple just to drop it in to normal conversation. So let's just do an experiment for a second. If it's safe, and only if it's safe, just close your eyes for a moment. And I'd like you to picture or imagine a beach. And as you picture or imagine the beach, just look at the waves coming in. Look at the light shining on them. The reflection of the sun on the water is wonderful. You can see the colour. On the horizon, you can see a ship. You can picture that, can't you? Now be on the same beach, and the waves are coming in. You can hear the waves just gently lapping on the sand. And as the waves rescind, you can hear the gravel or the sand just moving as the water flows through it. You can hear something in the distance, and as you look up, you see a ship. And there's the ship on the horizon. And your attention goes back to the noise of the waves. And then you're on the same beach. The waves are coming in, and you can feel the sunshine. You can feel the warmth and the wind just gently blowing in your face. As you walk, you can feel your feet on the sand. And as the waves break over your feet, you can feel the water going between your toes. And as the water goes back, you can feel the sand just moving around between them. And open your eyes. Okay, there we had 3 very simple stories. And all I ask you to do is to imagine something. And in those, the first one obviously was, visual. Because everything was visual predicates. The second one, auditory, all about hearing. And the third one was very much kinesthetic. Now, if I had used those to help somebody, I would have had first to make sure they were either auditory or kinesthetic or visual. So instead, what we tend to do is when we put people into trance and we ask people to relax, or when communicating with people, we use all 3 to make sure that we're getting everybody, especially in a meeting, especially to a large group of people that you may be presenting to. Because you don't really know what everybody's predicates are, what their rep systems are. So if you cover all your bases, so as you're on the beach, you can feel the wind in your hair. And as you look, you can see the waves breaking, and you can hear the water just trickling through the sand as the light reflects off each wave. And as you walk, you can feel the warm sand on your feet. And you can just feel how nice it is, that slightly gritty feeling of the bottom of the soles of your feet as you walk. That way, I was including everybody, because everybody there got a bit of what they wanted. So when communicating with people and using the rep systems, just bear in mind that what the other person's rep system is, what is going to work best for them to communicate. And I've sat through lectures, I've sat through n dozen talks from people, and all they do is they use their words. And if someone's really into auditory or something like that, I will sit there and I'll be bored. It's not necessarily saying the subject's boring, but they're not actually enabling me to process the information in the right way. So when you are doing your presentations, when you're doing your emails, when you're doing your letters, when you're doing your negotiations, just make sure you're using all 3 in equal amounts. Unless you know the person who you're writing to or communicating with and what their rep system is. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and at the end of this, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button. There's a little bell next door to it. And if you hit that bell, every time I put up a new video, you'll get a bing, and it'll give you an idea and a notification that more information is on its way.